Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. It's a good-looking crowd we have in front of us tonight. At this point, it is our public input of the meeting. If anyone wants to get up to speak, please do so. Just give us your name and your address.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Gamble, and my address is 121 Gillette Avenue here in Troy. And I'm here before you this day because of an incident that happened with my grandson. He was on the Troy school bus, and he's been riding this bus for 3 years. And at each time he gets on the bus and off of the bus, we are there to meet him. On this particular day, Jaden was on the bus, and when he looked out and saw that we weren't there, he informed his driver that no one's there. And he said that my grandmother isn't home. The bus driver then proceeded to say to him, "Oh, your grandma or your aunt, somebody's at home." And then he said no, and I know he said no because we always tell him, be in a safe place at all times. So the bus driver then asked my grandson, "What grade are you in?" And he said, my grandson said second grade. The bus driver then told him, "You're old enough to go home," and told him to get off the bus. Well, from the cameras in the neighborhood, because I did go to different people's houses to see their camera, Jaden was crying from the bus to our home, and he got off the bus around 2:20, 2:23, I think, from the first camera I saw. A neighbor saw him approximately 4 o'clock, still in our yard, because we were at work. And at that time, through phone calls, found us. Upon calling, being in knowledge of what happened, and calling the bus company at that time said to me that it was policy that if a person is in the second grade, then they could go home by themselves. So I stated to them, I said, "Well, who was driving the bus?" Because I'm familiar with the driver, Fred. I'm not going to say last names. And they told me, yeah, he was the driver. So that stabbed me even harder than what had happened. And so I still talked with the person, and they looked through their records and said, no, he didn't call. He didn't tell us about the child getting off the bus by himself. And then the bus company told me, well, you know, what usually happens is that they call the school and take the child back to the school if no one's there. He didn't do that either. So he put my grandchild in harm's way. And from that, I contacted numerous people about this to date. And then I asked them, did Jaden tell the bus driver that no one was at home? Never got an answer from anyone. I got some stuttering, some whatever. And so to date, they told me they'd pull the cameras and see this. Okay, I'm not here for nobody's job or anything like that. I am here because I don't want this to happen to any other child again. It could have been cold. It was a nice day that day. It could have been cold. Something could have happened to him. He was placed in harm's way, and that made me, to say it lightly, mad, angry, frustrated, everything. Now, you know we love our children, but I tell you, we will fight lions, tigers, and bears over our grandchildren. And that's me. So, today, I'm asking, oh, let me go back. I spoke with the gentleman, Mario, who is over your bus policy, whatever. And he said to me also that it's policy for anyone who is not a kindergartner to go home or be placed off the bus by themselves. I asked him to show me policy. Stuttering, never gave me policy, never showed me policy. Then I asked, and I'm asking you all, where's the policy and how are parents to know of this policy? Mario stated to me that it's given to me in a letter, 1 minute, okay, given to me in a letter at the beginning of the school year. No such thing. So I'm asking this school board to look at that. Make sure, try and make sure that this does not happen to another child. Let's keep our children safe. Thank you.
Before you sit down, ma'am, could you go to Teresa at the end and give her all your information so somebody will call you tomorrow?
Okay.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? At this time, I'd like to introduce Mayor Madden and our tri-high basketball team.
Well, thank you, President Wade-Arounds. I don't know if many people know this, but she and I went to high school together. Shh. We're here. We got out in 2000.
Yeah, that was 2000.
We were on the 40-year point. And to the superintendent, John Carmel, happy birthday. What year? So I'm here today to extend my congratulations and best wishes to the Troy High boys basketball team, the Section 2 Division, wait a minute, Section 2 Division A, Class A champions. Congratulations. It's a proud accomplishment. I think going in with a 10-10 record, there were some people who probably weren't too optimistic about your prospects, but they don't know the spirit of Troy's student athletes. So that was quite an accomplishment. I'm very proud of you. I think there's a couple of life lessons that I'd like to point out from this experience. One, you did not succumb to the reduced expectations of others. You knew what you wanted to do, you knew what you were capable of doing. You went out there, you executed, and you delivered on that. And I think that's an important life lesson. Don't fall to the expectations of what others have of you. Don't rise to what you know is within you, what you know you are capable of. You are your own master. You are your own guide. So let that be a lesson. This was quite an accomplishment, but it was something you knew of in your heart. Secondly, no one of you is responsible for this win. You are all together responsible for this win. You carried each other. You supported each other. Certainly one of you had the most points for the season. One of you had the most rebounds. One of you had the most three-pointers and the most blocks. But you all came through at the right time. Everybody's contribution was responsible for this win today. So I think that's an important life lesson as well. I don't know of anything of significance that's ever occurred that was by an individual. There's always a team effort. We do best when we work in teams. We do best when we support each other. We do best when we carry each other because everybody has a bad day. So you did that throughout the season, and the results speak for themselves. And finally, I encourage you to be humble. No matter how good you think you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter how capable you are, you always rely on your coaches. Your coaches were instrumental, despite the fact that none of them can play at the level you play at. They were instrumental in your win because they brought something. They brought experience and they brought knowledge to you. you listen to it. And that's a good lesson throughout life. You should always have a coach. You should always be seeking out coaches. I'm at the advanced stage of a lot, and I still have coaches. I still have people that I rely on. Some are older than me, some are younger. But the benefit of listening to other people is critical, and it shows in your experience here. So what I have right now, I do have certificates for each of the members of the team, and I'd like to call you up and present a certificate. And I know that some people aren't here today, they're at other practices, but I'll just call off names. Let me start with the head coach, John Killian. And his assistant coach, Joe Landers, here. Assistant coach, Trevor McCarthy, is he here?
He's on the baseball field.
Okay. Double duty, huh?
Yep.
Assistant coach, Mike Pierre, I'm sorry. Assistant coach, Mike Sunkus.
Baseball field.
Terrence Clark. Legend Merritt. Stetson Merritt. The Marion Tucker. Brandon Soricia. Yeah. Colin McBride.
Baseball field.
Kane Behan.
Baseball field.
Baseball. Howard Rubin.
Maybe we should have said that.
Multi-sport athlete.
Stephen Molino. Josiah Acevedo. Vincent Adams.
Baseball.
And even if he's nice.
Trey Bantry.
Baseball.
Baseball. Steve Faust. Justin Gilmore. Mike Wiltshire. I think that's everybody, right? It is. Did I miss anyone? All right, congratulations, gentlemen. Two requests. If you could all stand up, players, and give a big round of applause to your coaches who gave so much of their time. And then finally, if you could give a big round of applause for your parents who made all of this possible. Go home tonight, give them a hug and tell them you love them. Thank you all. Oh, and at this point, I'll turn it over to Joe.
Thank you. I'll make sure. Those are some people I want to thank. We had tremendous support from the Troy community this year, and it was integral to our success. And I just want to thank the community in general, especially the parents. A lot of conversations, a lot of text messages along the way. Some were difficult at times, but we kept communicating and what's best for our kids. So I do want to thank the parents. We have some here tonight, so if we could just give them a round of applause. Our teachers in Troy, academics, the support they gave our players along the way, the communication that they had with our staff was tremendous. The administrators, 3 in particular, Jimmy Canfield at School 12, communicate constantly. Joe Mariano at the high school, and Ian McShane here at the middle school. They were a big part of what we did this year in communication with our players and the connection they had with our players. So please give them a round of applause. I have to mention my coaches. There is no title, there's no sectional title without the coaches. Jack O'Keefe, Mike Pierre, Joe Landers, Mike Sunkus, Trevor McCarthy. Whatever our kids in Troy needed, they were there for them. So please give them a round of applause. And finally, my players. We built this with love and respect. That's what we always talked about. My captain from last year, Chase Peterson, is here tonight. He came all the way from college. He's graduated, he's playing at Cobleskill and having a great academic year, and he took the time tonight to come all the way from Cobleskill to support his teammates from last year as well as his coaches. And that's what our love and respect. And finally, my players. I always said, nobody can ever tell you you couldn't do it, and nobody can ever take it away from you. I love you. Yes.
One more thing.
Okay. Check.
The key to the city?
Oh, thank you. Get a picture with all my guys? All right, all my guys, come on up. Come. Sorry to run away. That's all right. We got the key to the city. You guys hold it. Coach will be on side. Yeah, check. Joe, what? This is like the horse racing photo. Get on the end.
Ready?
One, two.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Coach, and all the players. I mean, I was there right behind the bench for the whole run. Couldn't be prouder of you during the moment, and still am. One thing I wasn't mentioning, down 18? 17 in Amsterdam. I was getting frustrated. I think all of you were getting frustrated, but to the point that Mayor Madden was making, you never quit, you never gave up on each other. Every huddle was still positive, every huddle was still encouraging, motivational, and you found a way. And everybody played a part in that win. That was a really, really great moment, and I still feel so proud of you guys. Thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
Now, as much as you guys would like to stay for the
Very good.
okay, I'll let you know. Thank you, Gordon. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, John's going to talk about our budget.
Yeah, so all I'll say is really what I said in the email to the board members today. So we spent some time last time on draft 2, which we talked about would be probably our final draft, and we were hoping to have it approved tonight. In fact, we had a board resolution on there in the early edition of the agenda. We got an email from Assemblymember McDonald that they were actually sent home for Easter, and they weren't going to even return until mid next week. He didn't think there was any chance of it getting, the state budget I'm talking about now, getting approved until mid-April and possibly a little bit later. The good news is, and I said this in the email as well, is it doesn't appear that education funding is being discussed at all. Everybody seems to have agreed with the phase-in of the foundation aid and the fully funded expense-based aids. And so, I think John's email actually said the only change that might happen would be there'd be a little bit more money. So even if it's not done on the 19th, I was talking to Adam today, we'll still approve that draft 2 will get approved at a special meeting on April 19th. That's all we'll have on the agenda. It'll be quick. We hope that the state budget's done by then, but even if it's not, we feel comfortable recommending that we would still move forward with that. In fact, we don't have a choice at that point because we have deadlines that we have to meet with that number.
Thank you.
And of course, as I get updates, I'll send them to the board.
Ms. Barnhill?
Tonight I have the February treasurer reports, and all the accounts have been reconciled through the end of February. During the month of February, our claims auditor reviewed 323 claims, totaling a little over $6.6 million. Revenue in the general fund is up a little bit since last year at this time. I actually looked, our tax collection actually came in a little bit higher this year, and that's really the difference. Tax collection ended Friday on the 31st. We're just finishing getting the last few things either in the mail or payments that were made online. We should have it all tied up hopefully by next week. And then I was looking at the school lunch fund. Also, the federal reimbursement money is in a little bit more than last year, but I also looked, our expenses are quite a bit higher in food costs, obviously, just due to the higher costs these days. And then the only other thing I had was we have our major, majority of our purchasing ending after break, and then we can start cleaning up, closing out POs, see where we're kind of fall at the end of the year.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you. Motion on the floor for approval of minutes, March 22nd, 2023.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Superintendent recommendation, human resources, staff members, unclassified and classified. Under unclassified, motion on the floor for consent agenda items 1 through 19.
Second.
And I'm sorry, it's 1 through 9. 9, yeah.
Sorry.
It's like, wow, that's way too much. Yeah, so did I.
Look at 19 first.
I'm gonna start over. I gotta ask my Superintendent recommendation, human resources, staff matters. Unclassified and classified, under unclassified. Motion on the floor for consent agenda items 1 through 9.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Under classified, motion on the floor for consent agenda items 1 through 8.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Superintendent recommendations, programs, motion on the floor for consent agenda items 1 through 6.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Superintendent Business Finance, recommendations, motion on the floor for consent agenda items 1 through 5.
Second.
All those in discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Board resolution. Motion on the floor to approve item 1.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Budget vote and Board of Election, motion on the floor for consent agenda items 1 and 2.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? District announcements. All meetings take place at 6 p.m. at the Troy Middle School. April 19th is our special meeting. It will be here at 6 o'clock. Budget adoption, the 25th, it's Tuesday. Okay, so just keep that in mind because of the question I wrote. May 3rd, it'll be here. And now for our good news. Besides, it's John's birthday. That's the big news day.
And just for future meetings, we'll also, at some point next time, probably, Teresa, right, we'll have the
Yeah, all of the other
all the
election.
budget, parent meetings and the budget hearing and all that stuff.
That'll be usually a couple
Those
of
are in May, but, yeah.
Okay, this past Sunday, Carroll Hill Family Engagement hosted a spring egg hunt with over 110 students and family in attendance. Fun was had by all. We will have a hippity hop fun run on Thursday at 1:15. Carroll Hill also recently partnered with RPI Science Ambassadors, who came to classes and provided workshops on color, photosynthesis, and gravity and the universe. Odyssey of the Mind teams from School 16 and Troy Middle School earned a spot in the state finals coming up April 15th. Both teams placed in the top 2 in their problem and will compete for a chance to move on to the World Finals in Michigan in May. Congratulations and good luck. Didn't we go?
School 18.
Yeah.
School 18.
Actually, School 18 made it to Michigan one year.
Right,
So
Michigan.
Next step after.
Yeah. Oh, good luck to them. At School 18, kindergarten recently finished their science unit on dinosaurs and fossils. They concluded the unit with a dino day, which included students making dinosaur eggs out of paper mache. Each student brought home their dino egg and had a toy dinosaur. Last night, more than 40 students participated in School 18 Science Fair, each demonstrating the impressive science projects that they created. Great job. School 14 and School 18 recently had the opportunity to showcase some of the outstanding teaching and learning happenings with the units of study. A film crew from Heinemann Publishing came to School 14 and 18 last week to create a promotional video of all the great work happening. They recorded several lessons, interviewed some teachers and administrators about the great work that goes on in Troy. Both schools were pleased to be chosen and to be able to share information and insight into Troy's journey with the teachers, college, and units of study. This is my favorite part, John.
Is this
That was my favorite.
No. Girls flag football,
Oh, yeah.
about time,
Yeah.
is off and running. They have already several practices, and as right now, they have 7 games scheduled. Varsity, it's a varsity team, and Mr. Rogers, Frank Rogers, will be coaching it.
I met with them today again. So they're also doing our elementary after-school program, which is really, feedback on it is great. They're doing flag football in the elementaries, and doing karate on a different day. So there's going to be our first game for girls. We're the only girls flag football team in the area, so all our games are teams outside the area. We're the first one. The first game is going to be Monday, April 17th. If you want to come out to the field, be out there in our field. Yep. And they're going to do a purple gold scrimmage the Friday before. But I'll get you the full schedule and everything. Most of the games are going to be traveling, but this one will be here, the first one. And then there's going to be whatever that next Saturday is. the elementary flag football teams are going to come have a little tournament before the next varsity game, but I'll get all that to you. Yeah, it's really exciting stuff.
It's great. Does anybody have any good news? Don't want to share?
About the play.
Oh, the
Oh,
play was
yes.
awesome.
Oh, my God, did you?
Thank you.
I went
So
on
many of
Sunday.
us went to the play.
Yes.
It was outstanding. Troy, the Troy's community, we have a big group of very talented young people, and it was wonderful.
Friday night was,
Packed.
it was almost.
I
went Sunday
I don't know,
afternoon, it was really
back there
good,
too?
yeah.
We went Friday night.
It was really
It
great.
yeah, it was good. But, again, that was absolutely wonderful. Since no one has any good news for me, I guess I have to say goodnight. Motion on the floor to adjourn us.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? I never get an opposition with that. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good Easter. Have a great break.